All right, everybody. Are we ready for the playoffs? It is the playoffs in the PGA World FedEx Cup playoffs. FedEx St Jude Championship. 70 golfers, minus Rory, vying to move on, survive, and advance. You want to keep getting inside the ropes, get to the Tour Championship, make a lot of money. We know the drill. For us, we want to make a lot of money too. How are we going to do that? Well, unless maybe some of the golfers in the field are watching this, but most likely not, we got to do in the DFS streets. And that is what we're here to do. I'm Ben Razza. This is Stokastic. Welcome to the PGA Strategy Show. We're going to break down the entire field. We're going to build out some lineups. I'm going to show you some cool tools. We're going to have some fun along the way. If you're just joining us for the first time, good timing because NFL is about to be here. Sports are really going to pick up, college football as well. Take a look around this channel. It will make you a better DFS player. There's no doubt in my mind. If you like what you see, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Last week, Cam Young wire basically, not really, but he was in control, certainly on the weekend, and never made it competitive. Credit to him. It was a decent week. I bubbled in some important stuff. Nobody really cares about that. Aaron Rye chalk hitting. Woodland had an albatross. That helped. But all in all, we got to see some bubble sweats, some guys right on the number around that top 70, and some of them did survive in advance. I'll be interested to see, the big names took Wyndham off, and now they're here against some of those guys that snuck through last week. And we go to TPC Southwind, a course that we have seen a lot over the years. I don't think it's anything special. I don't mean that in a bad way, like I don't like the course. It just is what it is. It's a little more technical. It's not overly long. It's fast Bermuda. You got to be out of the water. Obviously, we know that. It's in the heart, Memphis golf. I don't know if that really means anything. It's a TPC course, though. Par 70. I don't think it's Bomber's Paradise, but I think you can use your aggression off the tee here. It's not that you're forced to lay down, club down. You can club down. And I think guys will in certain spots, but you can go for it. And if you do and you stay out of the hazards, you're going to have some short irons into these holes. And that is my type of golf. I think that's a fascinating build because we can build bomber skill set stacks. We can build second shot skill set stacks. We can build short game stacks. We can do all sorts of things. And that's what we're about to do. Here we go. Scotty Scheffler is back. There are two types of DFS tournaments right now in the world. In PGA, there are Scheffler tournaments, and then there's non-Scheffler tournaments. Non-Scheffler tournaments, like last week, the win equity is dispersed. You can build all sorts of balanced lineups. We saw, Cam Young was in the mid-range last week. I think the winner started with like the low nines and just really peppered the mid-range. And now we have Scheffler weeks. It doesn't mean you can't do that, but Scheffler's plus 280 to win the tournament. He's $13,000. When you play him, there is an immediate opportunity cost. It doesn't mean that you don't want to play him, but the way lineups look with and without him in the field, it just changes the pricing where no other golfer gets to this type of range. Obviously, he's going to be very popular. Obviously, his leverage is not great because he's so popular, but he's Scheffler. He supersedes all that. If you're playing a lot of lineups, I don't see how you don't have some of him. Not saying I'm getting over the field, but I certainly have him in the pool. I will be over on Xander. Xander is a key piece for me this week. I like him a lot. He's finding form at the right time. He's battled through a little health stuff this year, but he seems good to go. 8th in Scotland, 7th at the Open. He's reliable off the tee. He checks almost all the boxes that I want. You get the savings from Scheffler as well. $1,900 will go a long way. Him and JT are great starting points for me. I may try to play them together. I'm not sure how feasible that'll be, to be completely honest, but I'm going to certainly try. And I think it's a cool build to do it that way. Scheffler is going to be obviously a little more premium to play another guy north of 10. It's not that Russell Henley doesn't, belong there, but man, $10,000. What can you say? The guy's been ridiculous. 5th at Memorial, 10th at the Open, 2nd at Travelers, 10th at the U.S. Open, and 10th at the Open. It doesn't even matter what I say. Approaches Bermuda. All of it is in his favor here. You are paying the premium. That is the only thing. Now, I talk about this a lot with Scheffler, where it's different because it's Scheffler and the win equity is there. But like the pricing up top in some ways is irrelevant because if the guy wins, it doesn't matter what he costs. You need him. And if he doesn't win, barring a fluke winner, your margins start to shrink. So a guy like Henley, He's going to need a quality showing, but he doesn't have to win, obviously. It's just depending if Scheffler wins, it's going to really box him out, things of that nature. So I'm kind of indifferent to the play. I do like Fleetwood, as I always do. Win equity would be maybe minimized with him, but he's always reliable. I like the course for him, and I still believe that Fleetwood is going to win. I might be the only one who still believes that, but I do. Fitzy, Ober, Hovland, Morikawa. As you can see, the ownership is pretty dispersed here in the nines. I'm not going to make any hot takes or big stands here. I will let the tools do the work. What I mean by that, whether I'm using the single lineup simulator or the contest generator, I would like to get a healthy amount of all these guys. I would use Ludwig maybe in some off the tee heavy stuff. Morikawa has been the one that I think I'm most confused about, just because his year has been pretty rough, missed the cut in Scotland and the Open. Maybe that's a hard reset. It looked like he was trending upwards before that. He was 8th at Rocket Mortgage, and even at the US Open, he just couldn't putt. He's just a little all over the map. I'd say he's the most volatile, and I actually think of the four guys there, Fitzy is the safest, quote unquote. I know that's a loaded term in PGA golf, but for me, it'll just be interchangeable parts. If I had to play one, it would be Fitzpatrick, and then followed by Ober. Cantlay is also in the nines. I kind of skipped over him, not because I have no interest, but he's someone I actually want to keep an eye on his ownership. It's a smaller field, so everyone's going to garner ownership. But man, he has not been good at all, but it's been an interesting dynamic. He's been terrible in the biggest events. Where does this fall? I mean, this is a big event with a strong field, but it's a non-cut, small field. It's not a major where he missed the cut at the Open and the US Open and the PGA Championship, and he was nowhere at the Masters either. Other than that, though, he has some, top 20s, top 5s here and there. I'm just surprised he's not significantly lower owned than the rest of the range. I actually think he grades out fine. The leverage score is solid. He is a normal play for me, even though it has been a struggle for Patrick Cantlay this year. There is no denying that. I do like that little 9K range a little more than this. Sam Burns, good Bermuda putter. Decky, Straka, Keegan, Connors, Harris English, Aaron Rai. So first thing that stood out to me, I'm a little surprised that Aaron Rai is not more popular. He's popular in the sense that all these guys are garnering ownership, but I thought he might be upwards of 2x his neighbors, and he's not right now. We'll keep an eye on that and see what we get, but he was ridiculous last week. Gained 10 strokes on the approach, absolutely nuclear, just couldn't putt. Not that he had a terrible putting week, but if he putted, he could have won, even with Cam Young going bananas. It was that type of week. Hideki also played last week. He did make the cut and fight for me, and it actually was encouraging in a lot of regards. The irons are there. The short game is always there. He's still bleeding strokes off the tee, and I cannot figure out why. That's not something that he's really ever done historically. Certainly since I can remember, he's been a reliable driver of the golf ball. It hasn't been a major issue. That does freak me out, but it's still Decky, and I certainly like the course for him. I'm going to try to get over on Decky. I'm going to play Rai for sure. I think he's he fits a lot of different builds, balanced, and he's going to be like Scheffler plus ones for sure. People will go there. The rest of the range, again, I think you're going to have to disseminate off skill sets or things like that. Keegan and Connors maybe a little more reliable off the tee. Cam Young, obviously, if you want bombers. And I don't think it's crazy. I do have probably a bias against first-time winners not playing them. But for Cam Young, he was so overdue for a win that I do think it frees him up. And we've seen more and more guys lately win and stay in form. Goddard, Ben Griffin, those type of players. I don't think it's like, not to take a shot at Brian Campbell, but that's such a fluke win twice. So what do I know? I think that's a little different of a situation. Speaking of, look at that. Ben Griffin and Goddard right there. This is the winners who stayed in form range, I guess. We saw Ben Griffin last week. He was fine. He did his thing, stormed late, came in 11th. It was all putting. And that's the only thing I want to caution to people. He was unconscious on the greens. He really didn't strike it that well. Goddard has been unbelievable for the past, I don't know, month or so. 21st at JDC, and even before that, 26th at Rocket Mortgage, 23rd at the US Open. Then he wins in Scotland, comes in third at the Open, 10th at the 3M, gaining strokes everywhere. Honestly, the biggest knock on him is I almost wish he didn't take any weeks off because he is in form. Don't do anything differently with Goddard. I don't love the play. I'm indifferent to it, though. This is a field, let's be real. It's the top 70. Like, these guys know what they're doing. Only a few guys at the bottom really, I think, just got here by stuff that I can't even remember. Most of these other players have been doing serious work right in recent weeks. So let's crash into the 7K range. Before I do, though, because I'm running through these guys, you see the data hub on my screen, and we're gonna have some fun with the single lineups in just a bit. But if you are thinking about getting involved here at Stokastic, the link is below. Do yourself a favor and check out the pricing. From PGA, if you say, you know what, I just want to try this for a week, come on in and find the package that works for you. Obviously, we make it where you don't need stuff that you don't need. If you only want one thing, find that package that has that. If you want more, find one of these. But also, if you're saying, I love PGA, but I also love football, come on in. We have an all sports package. You can do different customations, all sorts of tools, and these tools are everywhere. So if you're playing MMA and you're playing PGA and you're playing MLB and you're playing NFL, do yourself a favor and save that money and honestly get on this list that is just, serious business. We've had so much success here at Stokastic, and it's been awesome. The tools can help you. Obviously, there's no magic potion. Everybody knows that. But these are ways to refine your game. And ahead of football, we'd love to see you in. When you sign up, come in Discord as well. Ask questions about best practices. How do I utilize this? Teach me about the sims. We have channels dedicated for that, for just users. Our devs are in there as well. Just a good time all around. Link in the description. Like I said, check it out so you're at least aware what we have. Harry Hall. Daniel Berger. I'm going to end up getting in trouble with him. Spawn. Spieth. Wyndham Clark. Maverick. Now it starts to get, I don't know, a little more erratic, I guess I could say. I do like Daniel Berger a little bit. He's someone that the form, it really hasn't been there, and it's been all around the green, which I don't really understand. He was 30th at the Open, though. I don't have a lot to go off of, but I am going off what I think is most important, which is course fit. And even this year, he was third at Heritage. He is someone that has shown he knows what it takes to get it done. Obviously, if you remember, and this is quite a while ago, the guys had serious success at TPC Southwind. Back-to-back years won the FedEx St Jude. Different formats, all that good stuff, but still, that doesn't just go away, and it's a good fit for his game. Jordan Spieth, 7,600. I tend not to get to Spieth, but I played him a little last week. He came in 31st. I'm okay here. The game is in solid shape. He's completely lost in the price range. What I mean by that is I don't think he stands out in any way. I'm going to put him in the pool. I think he's a decent flyer. You're not going to get a crazy discount ownership-wise, but I think that's fine for a mid-range play like this. Wyndham Clark always has upside. He comes out of nowhere. He's playing awful. Then he comes 11th, 4th, and 12th. His irons can get crazy hot. He can lose it at any point. Non-cut's probably good for him because he's a prolific scorer and a prolific doing stupid stuff. And you can survive a little more of that here. It doesn't mean, if my guy plays awful, well, I get 4 rounds of awful. That's not going to help. But a triple here or there, placement points are still there to be grabbed, and Wyndham Clark does do that. Pretty crowded range still. Maverick, Knapp, Shane Lowry, Denny. These are names. I'm going to go to Denny McCarthy. He seems to be amongst the lowest owned. I bought on him last week. I actually thought, not the victory lap, but I really did like that spot, and I don't think people caught up because of the pair of missed cuts, and he did exactly what I wanted. He rebounds with his putter. He gained 8 strokes putting after bleeding on the greens in Europe. He's back. He's ready to go. The guy's a prolific putter. He needs to keep it together off the tee. If he does that, Denny McCarthy will have another successful week. If you want to go a different direction, go to Jake Knapp. He's unstoppable off the tee, one of the best drivers of the ball in the world, and he just missed the cut at Wyndham. He rallied on Friday, but it wasn't enough. That's an easy buyback too. It's just how you want to structure. Totally different types of players, from Denny on one side to Knapp on the other. They both have utility this week. Kitayama is a little too popular for my taste. I think Day is fine. We'll see, again, what we get out of him. And let's see what else we got here. Chris Kirk, not, this starts to get a little Bhatia was terrible last week. Maybe you can buy back. Ricky. I'm taking a shot with Ricky. You know me, I do like Ricky. That's not why I'm doing it, though. I'm doing it just because I look at this. He's flat 7. He's not going to be popular. He is making cuts. Off the tee, pretty reliable. The short game is always strong. He has not popped with the irons in quite some time. I will admit that. He scores. He also makes a lot of mistakes. That is realistically better for this type of format because he really can score for you. And he gives you some room. Again, I look at this. 7,000 is not a bad price for a guy like Ricky. 10%, 12%, 15% gets you leverage. I'll probably be in the 15 to 20% range with Ricky. And now you're in the sixes. It's not the sixes of a tournament where people have no chance. That's obviously not true with these type of players. So you look at this, Siwoo's probably the most logical choice. Sanjay, he flashes, but he just cannot hit an iron right now. I like Michael Kim. As one of my sleeper picks this week, Michael Kim is on that list. He's 6,700. He is a great leverage score in our tools, as you can see right here. Probably because of this because of this ownership. He's been close. His irons at times have been good, and his putting has been bad. His putting has been the most consistent, and his off-the-tee game has been bad. Last week, off-the-tee was good, and putting did not show up. I think this guy's pretty close. I like the technical track for him. 6.7, I can get on board with that. Rio is here. I can get on board with that too. He's actually playing very quality golf. And he's suppressed in price just because of the field strength, not because of his form. And to me, that is a buy in that situation. Echechariva was close last week, kind of melted on Sunday, but I wouldn't hold that against him. And then Bud Cauley. Bud Cauley 6.4, not going to be popular. I'm on board with that. If you need to go down here, and you definitely might, because you look at where we're at. I'm trying to zoom in here, so apologies, just because this is it. With Scheffler, with guys like that, you're going to need to pay down. You don't need to go all the way to the basement, but it's going to be pretty close, realistically. So for me, Bud Cauley, his putting at Wyndham, I exaggerate a lot. I say a lot of stuff, this guy. I'm not sure I've ever seen someone so lost on the greens, particularly on that weekend. He would get it to 4 feet, and you would just be like, okay, well, he's not going to make it, but hopefully he can make the comeback. It was to that level. Like, he just couldn't find it on those greens. That's a total throwaway for me. Bud Cauley's in better form than that showed. Finau's struggling. I still think there's some utility there, but man, I don't know. I'm not getting crazy in these ranges because you don't need to. I mean, look at this. Very low ownership on these guys, particularly these last 5 or 6. I'm going to be very, very selective down here. Maybe if I jam like Scheffler, JT or something. But even there, give me Bud Cauley, give me Grillo, give me Echechariva, Siwoo, and I'll be fine. I will be more than fine to do just that. What do you say we build a couple lineups on the way out? And again, if you have any questions on anything, link in the description. Sign on up. Jazzraz Bets. Shoot me a follow. Tweet me anytime. I'm happy to answer any questions. That's what we're about here. We really are a community at Stokastic. You guys, you make it fun. Simple as that. All right. Let's have some fun right now. We're not small contest. What are you talking about? We're going for the win. Large field. You set your parameters. Let's look for some value that I like. Bud Cauley. I do like him. Angria. All right, so we got 2 cheapies, no doubt about it. And I'll put in. I mentioned that all right, let's try this. Let's see what we get here. So I went 2 and 2. 2 cheapies, 2 somewhat expensive. Complete this lineup. You can fill them all in, or you can just ask them to do it for you. Morikawa and Connors. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Certainly not going to be a popular lineup because we don't have any of that chalk in there. I like the look of this. It's balanced, but it also has 2 cheapies. That's a cool build. A lot of people, when they go balanced, they don't go into the 6s. So we're about neutral. Okay, I can live with that. Again, you can tweak it, you can roll it. All options. Let's do one more here. And we'll go, let's build the Scheffler lineup. I think a lot of people would like to see that, and that is totally reasonable. Connors, I'm going to go with, this is what I said. I said Scheffler +1. This is going to be a common build. So be aware of that. Don't do that and then zero out with only obvious plays. That's a recipe to have nothing good happen for you. I can promise you that. Michael Kim. All right. There we go. That's a interesting start for me. This leaves 100. Bhatia, Lowry, and Maverick. Interesting. So they peppered the 7s, the mid-7s, because we went high-low. Okay. I could live with that. I might interchange some of the mid-7 guys, but I like the concept of this build. Great lineup. Yo, that's what I'm talking about. That's really strong stuff. And this is the power of this tool. I cannot stress, A, how fun this is, and B, how useful it is. Great lineup. 1. Boom. So you put that there. You create lineups. You can do whatever you want here. Obviously, I'm just messing around here, but look at that. It shows you. You click right in. You 2v2. Simple as that. These are powerful tools, and they're fun as hell, and they make you a better player. So if you want to come check them out, again, that link is below. And I think we have to end it there, friends. This is the going away image I want to take into the week, which is a great lineup and a nice big green ROI. And on that note, the first leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs, you're going to be seeing plenty of me here talking about PGA, talking about college football, talking about the NFL. Great time of the year, and I'm glad that you chose to enjoy some of it with us here at Stokastic. So on that note, good luck at the St. Jude Classic Championship, whatever it's called this week. See some winners, and when you win, make sure you tweet us. Again, any questions, write at JazzRazBets. Until next week, good luck and enjoy.